Hey, what's going on? Welcome to Heaven on Earth. I'm Michael, the Leo Mystic, and this is where I channel the sacred guidance for this astrological week of the 27th until the 3rd of January. Oof. Before I go there, make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel, and thank you so much. The 9th of January is the start of the astrological course online, learning astrology, learning the symbols of the esoteric language of the universe, the stars, and what it means for us as human beings, making it as simple as possible for you to understand and working with your own chart. If you've ever already wanted to understand your own chart, this is that course. So make sure I'll put the link in the description below. Sign up for that and see you the 9th of January. Okay, so we're in Capricorn season right now. And this is the digestion, the practicality, the materialization of the past, well, we would say year, but especially the last month. We had such an intensive month of, full moon, new moon in, full moon in Gemini, which was pretty close, to, it wasn't to the north, no, but we had the new moon solar eclipse in Sagittarius. We had Jupiter-Saturn conjunction on the winter solstice. It's just like, whoa, can we get a break? It was a lot. So right now, just Capricorn is about structure, about long-term plan. Let's get it done and let's get serious. Let's, this is the highest, this is the mountain. This is the highest of the highest on this 3D plane. This is about really putting things into material, into matter. So things matter right now. And obviously things take a lot more time in Capricorn. And it's funny because, Saturn rules Capricorn, went into Aquarius. So there's this tension between, the people, the community, and society, or the future and the old, the past. So that's what we're working with, and pretty much a whole year of 2021. But now, we're not really fully getting like this full burst into the Aquarian, energy, because of this Capricornian energy. And I think it's really it's quite good because it helps us to really get practical on the stories that we told ourselves, that we've discovered in Sagittarius, in the philosophies. And really right now, this is your highest good. Capricorn is leadership. We got it square over to Chiron in Aries. This is, we're seeing failed leadership all over the planet. And we're seeing failed leadership. Where do you see failed leadership in yourself? Where are you unable to take the action that you need to be brave, to be your highest good, all of that stuff. So that's the inventory that we have to do right now, and to get to the highest integrity of ourselves. And, on Monday and Tuesday, we're collecting, North Node Gemini stuff, information that is serving us, and then we can instantly, immediately put down to practice. So be aware of your environment. What are they communicating? So you can get, boom, down to practice, or down to, to the nitty gritty. So, but at the same time, it's the institutions. It's like power. Capricorn is power. Square Chiron, failed power, abuse. So we're having to deal with that. We're having to see that. Pluto is still square Mars. This is, force. This is like the last bits of grip that the patriarchy is trying to put on the new system. And we're in the unknown now. We're in Jupiter, Saturn, Aquarius. This is raising the standards of humanity. We have to raise our standards as human beings. And it has to be for the collective. Square Uranus and Taurus, this is the division between people. because Uranus is the people, Taurus is the earth. It's squaring the Jupiter Saturn. We're seeing more and more people divided in religion, in black versus white. The polarities are being pulled apart more than ever, and we're needing to see and feel. And with Uranus involved, with Saturn, these are hard lessons that are like thunderbolts, and because Jupiter is there too, and lightning and shocks and earthquakes and like wars, like extreme conditions. And that is because, there's a certain action, and every action has a reaction. And now every action is an explosion, Uranus. So this is where we have to truly see, feel, on the nervous system, the physical body, like wake the fuck up. So seeing that polarity, to understand that it's a spectrum, that it's not you versus me or good versus bad, that it's a one entity, and that is that transcendence. And this is about 3D versus 5D. No, 3D is equal to 5D. Every dimension is here. There is no ascension to the fifth dimension. It's only an ascension in consciousness, in solar energy. That every part, every cell within us is awakening to it being alive. And that our brain is just a receiver of that consciousness. Yeah? So that's the awareness that we are waking up to, and that, this earth is also waking up to, and everyone needs to follow. So wherever there's no harmony, it needs to be woken up, and it's hard. So it's interesting. We got Venus coming on the south node in Sagittarius, which, Uranus and Taurus, the division of the people, the new earth, the raising of the standards that need to happen. Jupiter, Saturn squared at Uranus. This is, also any experiment to just like wake people up. Venus in Sagittarius on the south node is stories, again, square Neptune. That is like, where are we dreaming ourselves away from reality? What stories are pulling us away from reality? And where don't we want to see the truth? Where are we telling ourselves that we know the truth? And where are we escaping from reality? There's going to be this need, and it's going to be pretty much the whole freaking year, because, that's how the year's going to start. And I'm going to come to the chart of the year in just a second. But that Venus on the south node in Sagittarius is about everyone wanting to get to another country to escape. But the thing is, it's worldwide. You cannot escape the whole corona thing. You cannot escape COVID. You cannot escape lockdown. You cannot escape people anymore. You have to face it. Why? So that every division can be tolerated. So that every division can be seen as an equal expression of source. So that you can understand that it's a spectrum, and that every individual has its right to exist and to be. But there's only, these people might not be fully aware and awake, and they might be told a story, and that's what they need to wake up from. But for you, as awake as you are, this is all you. And this is what we need to wake up to. And that's what the earth knows. The earth knows. And it's not gonna tolerate anything less than you accepting your brother and your sister of any religion, sex, or whatever, color, because we all have the same DNA. We all have the same everything, pretty much. It's just a story that is different. And that's what we need to wake up to. But Venus on the south node is this like dreaming squaring Neptune too. Like, what the fuck? So there's a lot of illusions. It's just like, oh my God, just thinking that you can get away with escaping, with telling a different story than living in your own world. And that's the part where the division happens between religion, spirituality, and science, between black versus white, between whatever. Because you are not willing to see the truth of oneness, that everything is. And until we realize that we're one, we're going to keep having these, right now, in this very moment, extreme shocks, extreme conditions. And then, there's going to be a full moon in Cancer, which is heightened emotions, and it is a culmination of various cycles. Of the last new moon was a solar eclipse in Sagittarius, and that's a cycle of 2 weeks. But the full moon in Cancer is actually a 6-month cycle. And the last new moon in Cancer was also a solar eclipse. Talking about waking up to shocks and these cycles coming to an ending, to a culmination in Cancer versus the sun in Capricorn. This is the past. This is the ultimate past in a way. But it's Cancer is the child and is your past, and it's your past of your conditioned feelings, emotions, your insecurities. And it's about trusting yourself fully, emotional security. So the family, the home becomes important because that's your narrative and that's the closest to you. These are the people that are around you. And it's the balance between, yes, you need to get practical in the sun in Capricorn and in the long-term planning, and things take time, and, just like, let's get serious. But the moon in Cancer is telling you, well, where are you not nurturing yourself? Are you taking care of yourself? And that reflects itself in the family. That reflects itself in the inner child that you need to embrace. But what no longer serves you of the past is what it's saying. And especially emotional attachments to the past. The inner child that is wounded and that you're clinging on to, because it's squaring over to Chiron and Aries, both the sun and the moon. So there's this T-square that is happening. So the point of relief is Libra, is relating, is finding balance and harmony. But it's like anger can come up because, and the inner child that becomes angry and just like the cry for attention, but also the claim of power because you are insecure. So that's why relating becomes important. And that's for the it's not the whole year because it's going to be on the 29th of December. But we're taking that energy definitely within the year. The moon comes in Leo on New Year's Eve at 12 o'clock. Like at the first minute of the new year, the moon is in Leo opposing Jupiter in Aquarius. This is bringing big egos. Big egos in the whole new year. This is about, I have the answer. I am the one. I like the over-identification of the ego. Or flipping the other side is like, again, division. I'm telling you. I'm seeing the vision of the people of humanity more and more. Big egos, maybe setting up cults, setting up my truth. This is the truth. And just like more and more people are going to say, I have the truth. And that's going to be a problem. It's going to be a big problem. Because it's going to create tension. It's going to create wars. It's going to create, we got Mars in Aries, the last degrees in its shadow period. So that's anger. We got Venus on the south node. I have the truth. Moon in Leo, over-identification with the ego, opposing Jupiter and Saturn. Hard lessons. But the invitation is not over identification to the ego, but it's just like being the channel of source. And yes, claiming that ego, but healthy ego, where you're able to be creative and expressive and courageous to stand up for truth. But stand up for what? For the people, for community. Yeah, like I'm telling you, in 2021, if you do stuff alone, it's going to be so hard for you. You need to connect. You need to do things in group. You need to find peers. You cannot do stuff alone anymore. But it's also failed leadership. Sun, Capricorn square Chiron in Aries, and Mars in its shadow period. Failed leadership and false claimed gurus are just gonna fall from grace. So they're gonna, like, these are these last attempts of like these gurus that are really like, oh, come to me, I have the answer. Because it's squaring Neptune, it's squaring Uranus, the moon. It's like it's making so many aspects. Leo, if you're a Leo, you need to be standing in your truth more than ever, but just everyone. To stand in your authenticity, to speak from the heart, and the heart in connection to the field. Because if your heart only comes from here and you're speaking from the heart, you're going to fall from grace. I'm telling you. So this is about really, it's about Mars in Aries and Chiron in Aries, and then Moon in Leo and Venus in Sagittarius, like being courageous and brave to speak your truth and to speak truth of source more than ever. For what? Opposing that Jupiter Saturn in Aquarius, which squares Uranus. This is freedom. Freedom. To be courageous, to, I would not say fight for freedom, but to claim freedom of humanity and to do what is necessary. That's true leadership, but not to claim it. And that's the invitation. Seeing the division, the biggest people in 2021 are the ones who are going to be able to negotiate, first and foremost, and to find commonalities, and to see the differences, to respect them, honor them, and to be able to let other sides see the differences and accept them, and lead these people into unity. That is the goal for 2021, and let that be the goal. That's the invitation. But if that doesn't happen, there's big civil wars and group community versus another community. It's like gang wars, like big time. Like the ghetto in every freaking city. If that does not happen, where leaders step up and just like are able to negotiate and like lead people from love. So this is your call, honestly, to do stuff like, I urge you to check out as well Heart Math Institute and the Global Coherence Project, where we gather in heart coherence, heart-brain coherence, all people all over the world. It's an application where you, with your heart monitor, but you don't even have to do that. You just do your heart-brain coherence every single day, and you know that you're connecting with all these people and impacting the magnetic field of the earth. This is what we light workers right now do. This is how we act in the world when we're in lockdown, and when we're just being told to shut up, and wear what, and having to doesn't matter, man. We have the technology and no one can stop us. That's what we light workers are and do. We know. And that's how we've always operated in every life that we've lived. They cannot stop the light if you act from light and if you act from love. Period. And that's a truth that you stand in and live by. And then you are safe, and then you are peaceful, at calm, at ease. Because the light always finds its way, and you're just an expression of that light. And here's to the light, in 2021, which, by the way, is going to be unpredictable. If you thought that 2020 was unpredictable, wait and see. We have not seen 1%. It's a very Uranian year. It's an Aquarian year. So it's those people who are different, weird, and see things from a different perspective, they win. So here's to a different perspective. Here's to another angle. Here's to the group, to community, and to know your freedom. Where is freedom? And for Earth, because Uranus retrograde in Taurus, it's about, the other side, Scorpio, depth, transformation, looking within, rebelling against the norms for a new Earth, and not get caught up in stories, but to be here. If you're here, nothing can happen. Trust me. You're safe. You're free. You're aligned. No fear there. Much love. The Leo Mystic. Happy 2021. Bye-bye.